Hi friends, welcome if you're new, and if you're returning, I'm so happy to have you. Today's cleaning motivation is something else. It is jam-packed with a lot of motivation, but also a lot of unexpected cleaning tasks that I just wasn't prepared for. And you're going to see later in this video what I'm talking about. So on the day that I'm filming, it's a Sunday, and our plan was to wake up, go to church, kind of have a relaxing morning, come back, eat breakfast together, and then we actually stopped at the store before we headed home, and we got a bunch of pork shoulders from Costco. And my husband has been talking about making another batch of sausage, and he started making his own sausage just a little while ago. He got the meat grinder attachment for the KitchenAid, and we made our first batch of homemade sausage together while our kids were in school, and it turned out delicious. And it basically means that our sausage is $2 a pound. I guess it's a little bit more because we didn't take into consideration the bags to freeze it, and like if you're going to make sausage links or anything like that, you need to buy casings. So it might be a little bit more than $2 a pound once you consider the materials used, but still, even if it's $2.50 a pound, that's kind of unheard of in this day and age. You guys definitely probably understand what I'm talking about with inflation. We live in the US, in case you're wondering, and inflation has been pretty terrible, so buying groceries can be a bit rough. But my husband's first batch of sausage did turn out great, and we ended up running out. We ate it all. And so on this Sunday, usually we aren't super productive on Sundays, and we try to spend a lot of time together as a family. But my husband had this idea to include the boys in the process so that they can learn how to do it. They can kind of have an appreciation for projects in the kitchen. They help my husband all the time with cooking. My husband loves cooking and spending time in the kitchen, and my boys are learning to love it as well. And so he said that when we got home, he would take the boys and they would do just a sausage day. So they would grind up all of the pork shoulders, they'd add the seasoning, they'd package it, they'd just spend the afternoon together in the kitchen making memories. And I told him that's great, and I was going to, while they were doing that, since they were kind of all occupied, I was going to work on my whole house cleaning video for you guys on Tuesday. And I wanted to get a jump start on it. Usually I don't film on Sunday, but I thought 4 people in the kitchen sounded a tiny bit crowded. So that's what you're seeing. We ended up cleaning my master bedroom, and I wanted to start a load of towels because it was due, and my plan was to just kind of do the upstairs while everybody was busy and happy downstairs. So I was going to tackle the upstairs bathrooms, the playroom, just get things vacuumed, do a little bit of deep cleaning. Not a ton, but I was planning on spending a couple hours upstairs while my husband and kids focused on their kitchen project. Well, when I started my master bathroom, my husband ended up calling me downstairs because things were not going according to plan. And unfortunately, the meat started getting warm because obviously when you're working with 2 little boys, it can take a little bit longer than you expect. And then also there ended up raw meat being everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And so not only did we have to rush the process to try to get the meat in the freezer in time, but there was raw meat from the kids helping, and it was on cabinets, it was on their clothes, it was absolutely everywhere. And we ended up having to use every single big dish that we own that doesn't even really fit in the dishwasher very well to do this project. So you're going to see I actually ended up going downstairs and helping my husband bag the meat and label all the bags to try to rush this process. And so it ended up being a 4-person job anyways, and I had to stop cleaning in the middle of doing the master bathroom. And then after we finally got all of the meat into the freezer, I looked around and the kitchen was an absolute mess. It was terrible. You're going to see that here. I showed a few clips and a few close-up clips, and you understand that I just did a deep cleaning video in my kitchen. I've actually deep cleaned my kitchen a couple different times, and I had finally gotten to the point where it was ready for decorating for Christmas. And so this kind of was a big deal to me. When we were all done with the grinding and putting all the meat in the freezer, I honestly just stood looking at the kitchen and kind of trying to come up with a game plan. I definitely got a little emotional and overwhelmed a couple of times, but I decided to start with the basics. So I grabbed some Clorox wipes, and you're going to see me use them a lot because it is raw meat, and I wasn't really sure how to attack this since I didn't want to use a bunch of rags. So first order of business, I had my kids put all of their clothes in on the chair so that they didn't get spread around with all of the raw meat on it. And then they went to go take a bath. And then I started on the kitchen. And first I cleaned up all of the meat chunks on the floor because a couple of them got stepped on and I was scared that it would spread throughout the house. And then I decided to clean off appliances and countertops next. So I ended up using the Lysol or Clorox wipes. I forget which one I was using. And I wiped everything down and tried to put all of the big items away just so that it was less visually overwhelming. When I came up with a plan, and I really just started with one area of the kitchen at a time, just so that I could see some progress. So I did one section of a countertop and put away things on it. Then I did the next section of the countertop. So I was moving area to area, and I was slowly making my way towards the sink. I just felt like in my mind that was going to be the easiest and least overwhelming way to clean this. In the end, looking back on this and doing the voiceover, my kids are still talking about how much fun they had with us in the kitchen, and all of this cleaning was definitely worth it. Now, I will definitely only let them help with maybe like 1 pound or 2 of the sausage in the future, and then my husband and I will tackle the rest while they're in school until maybe they're a little bit older. And then I think that for now, they can have fun with their Play-Doh and kinetic sand. So I think that's kind of what I decided. I think it's a great family project for when they're a little bit older. But the memories are great. And now that the kitchen's clean and I can breathe, I'm happy we ended up spending the Sunday together, even if it ended up I had a few extra hours of cleaning. I've cleaned messes up that were this bad before. Like we've done homemade pizza night and we've cooked pizza for multiple families. And so, spaghetti sauce can get all over the place, semolina flour all over. And I've cleaned up after hosting before. We've hosted big parties. I think really the only difference between this kitchen project and some of our other ones that I've cleaned up from is the fact that this mess was all having to do with raw meat. And there's something about raw meat being stepped on and dragged throughout your house. And, the kids washed their hands in the downstairs bathroom and it was on cabinets. The fact that it was raw meat, so you couldn't just spray an all-purpose spray and then wipe everything down, was kind of the biggest reason why it was overwhelming. We don't have a good kitchen stool for our kids. We really never have, and they've always just grabbed a dining room chair and pulled it up to the countertop to help us out in the kitchen. So that's why there's 3 chairs in our kitchen right now, and that's why I'm wiping all of these down, because their hands were touching the railings and they were up and down on these chairs the entire time. So I'm just going to give these a quick wipe down, and then I'm going to move them into the kitchen where they belong, or the dining room. And then I'm actually going to just get on my hands and knees and Clorox the floor in this area, just because I knew this whole entire area probably needed it. And I thought about doing a mop, but there were still some little pieces of meat chunks. And so if I did like a mop or something, I'd just be kind of pushing the meat around. And I wanted to really get on my hands and knees and make sure that all of the raw meat and the juices were off of the floor. I did go ahead and off camera on this night after the kids went to bed. I took my wet vac mop and I did wet vac the entire lower floor of the house. I just wanted to make sure that if the meat got stepped on and smeared throughout the lower floor, I just wanted to make sure that that was taken care of. So I did go ahead and use my Bissell wet vac mop, and I did the downstairs bathroom, hallway, and then the whole kitchen living room area just to make sure that the house was like sanitized. Honestly, the amount of cleaning I did might be unnecessary, and I'm not sure if it's overkill or not. I just don't really know the proper precautions for like how to clean up meat. And I like whenever we cut up raw chicken or we cut up any raw meat, I just really make sure that the knives used and the cutting boards get disinfected and really hot water, and they usually go in the dishwasher or I scrub them down multiple times. And so I just think that that's normal. Like, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to do a good job whenever there's raw meat involved, making sure that it doesn't stay on any surfaces. So maybe this is all overkill. You guys will have to let me know what you guys would have done. Now that the kitchen is at least clean enough to walk around and some of the counters are clean, we're going to go ahead and empty this dishwasher. I never emptied it before church, and so usually I do it in the morning while I'm waiting for my coffee, but I didn't get around to it this morning because I was getting ready. So we're going to take care of that so that we can load it back up. For anyone new, I have a 5- and 6-year-old boy, and then I'm married to my best friend, Mac, and we live in the Pacific Northwest, so right now we're experiencing lots of rain, and we're spending a lot more time indoors. Both of my boys just finished up soccer, and we're currently not signed up for any winter sports because we're planning on just enjoying the cozy season of life. The kids could do a couple of sports, but I think we're going to just take winter off and spend some more time together as a family. Now that they're both in school, they actually do really love being home. And so honestly, I just feel like sometimes rushing to and from activities all the time can get to be a little bit too much for them. And they are going to be doing probably baseball in the spring. And so it's really nice to just kind of spend a lot of time together, have a Christmas tree, some twinkling lights, and, get the fireplace going, board games, movie nights. I'm excited for all of it. While I was cleaning the kitchen, my kids ended up cleaning up in the bathtub, and then they're actually playing with their neighbor friends outside so that I can finish cleaning the kitchen without them running around. And my husband's actually in the background on the countertop prepping dinner. So he's actually trying to get dinner ready because it's by the time I was done cleaning, it was time to start cooking dinner. So I had to clean the kitchen one more time after this was all over. So if you see me laughing or smiling or looking your way, it's because my husband was right behind the camera on that corner of the countertop prepping some things for dinner, and he was just joking around with me, keeping me company, so that's why. Here I decided to take a break from cleaning up all of the dishes and come into the lower bathroom before my kids needed to use it because I had forgotten that they had come in here, and I ended up finding some meat chunks in the bathroom sink. The handles had some meat on them. The soap dispenser had some in the grooves of the soap dispenser. There's a bunch of little lines that some meat got pushed into, and then there was also a couple little pieces of meat on the floor. So I am glad that I took a quick break from the kitchen to come in here and just Clorox everything just to make sure that the doorknobs, the light switches, and all of these areas that they touched to wash their hands were all wiped down. Now we're back in the kitchen and we're just going to finish up the rest of these dishes. We're so close. I just have this section of the countertop left to really sanitize, and then a few big dishes left to scrub down and hand wash. And then off camera, I did end up going over everything one more time with just some soap and a bucket. And then I did mop the floors, like I said, but that'll be off camera because I'm not going to make you watch me kind of do the finishing touches on this kitchen since you already watched me kind of Clorox everything down. I couldn't figure out how to clean this part of the grinding tool, and I finally realized that there is a piece that unscrews so that you can clean out all the meat inside. So once I figured that out, this was smooth sailing. My family is definitely excited to decorate for Christmas, and I'm super excited as well, and I think we're going to be putting that video out on Saturday. I will not be decorating my Christmas tree on camera just because that's kind of a family affair in our household. The whole entire family puts ornaments on, and we all get excited, and we make a night of it and drink hot cocoa with the fireplace going, and so that's kind of just a family tradition, and I'd never decorated it in the past on camera, and I'm not really planning to, and so that won't be in Saturday's video. But other than the Christmas tree, which you guys will still get to see, I will definitely do a clean and decorate with me, and that'll be out Saturday morning. I usually post around 6 a.m. for anyone new. I've been really enjoying all of the Christmas content that's been coming out on YouTube. Normally I do decorate early December. My birthday's in early December, and usually my family decorates then, and we wait until just after Thanksgiving, or we honestly decorate like the day after Thanksgiving sometimes. But this year we are hosting kind of a fun Christmas party for my husband's work, and we're super excited for it, but it is a Christmas party, and so I wanted to kind of get ahead of the game. I have a lot of cleaning I want to do and some prep work, and it's just nice to have that taken care of so that I can focus on other things when it gets closer to the party. We also don't host Thanksgiving in our house, and we usually go somewhere for Thanksgiving and somebody else hosts, and so that's also why we don't have to wait until right after Thanksgiving, and we get to enjoy our Christmas decorations just a little bit longer. Here I'm just filling up the dish soap. Both my hand soap and my dish soap ended up running out while I was cleaning, and so I'm filling it up here. If you're wondering why this Dawn dish soap is in this glass jar, that's because my plastic giant bulk bottle of Dawn dish soap ended up cracking and leaking all over the place, and I had to put the remaining amount in this jar here, and so I've been slowly finishing that up. We have hosted a Friendsgiving almost every single year since we've been together. My husband started doing Friendsgivings back in college with some of his roommates and some of his friends, and then that kind of continued after we got married. We ended up having some good friends over for Friendsgiving, and this year, because we're having the work party, I'm not sure if we're going to have a big Friendsgiving just because that would be two large gatherings back to back, and I think it would kind of take away from some of our relaxing Christmas traditions. And so we'll see about that. This would be the first year, though, that we haven't hosted a Friendsgiving, so that would make me a little bit sad. This is the last section of countertop that I have not cleaned, and so we're going to take care of that now. I started with Clorox wipes, and it wasn't getting anything off of the countertops because it had all dried, and it was really hard to get off now that it's all dried and stuck on there. And so I ended up just kind of spraying my all-purpose spray, which ended up kind of running out, so I just kind of poured it on the countertop. And then I'm taking this plastic white scraper. I love these things. I got like a pack off Amazon, and I use them to just get things off the countertop so I don't have to use my nail. And I just kind of scraped all of the dried meat off of the countertop so I could wipe it down with paper towels. And then after I'm done with that, I still do go in and disinfect with some Clorox wipes. My kids are back in from playing with the neighbors, and they're actually doing some artwork on the dining room table. So that's why you saw one of them just didn't take off his jacket. And so he's doing artwork with his like big fluffy winter jacket on because it is getting a little chilly here. It was super cute, and the thing that he's holding is actually like a bunch of papers that he taped together, and he was using paper and tape to make his own like wrapping paper, and he was making me a birthday gift because he knows my birthday's coming up, and I already told him that my birthday is pretty far away, so he has plenty of time, but he loves gift giving. It's one of his love languages, and it's super cute, and so he loves making artwork for people. He loves giving gifts to people, and so he was making me a birthday gift, and instead of using wrapping paper, he decided to use a bunch of regular construction paper with some tape to wrap up the card he had made me. So it's kind of like his version of both a gift and kind of a card, and it was super sweet. If you can't tell, I am in different clothes, and that's just because it is the next day in the morning. So I ended the night because I finished up the countertops and the dishes, and we ended up eating dinner as a family. And then I ended up cleaning up all of the dishes in the kitchen from dinner. But I still had a couple of things that I never got around to the night before, and so we're going to take care of that real quick. And then when we're done with these last two things in the kitchen, you'll see that we do start moving around the house and cleaning. Yesterday, I was way too tired to take care of the stovetop, and so I knew I had to get to that this morning. So we're going to quickly take care of that. I sprayed Method Heavy Duty Degreaser, and we're just going to wipe all of this down with some paper towels, and then we'll go in with a rag once it's a little bit more clean. There were a couple spots that didn't come off when I wiped it down with a paper towel, so we sprayed some Dawn Power Wash, and we're just going to quickly scrub it with a sponge, and then we'll wipe everything down with a rag. I just finished my last all-purpose spray, and I need to get some more from the store, but I was kind of thinking about testing out some homemade DIY all-purpose sprays. You guys should let me know what you guys use. I'm trying to do a more natural all-purpose spray because it's the most used cleaner in my home. I still love my glass cleaners. I love my Dawn Power Wash, and I don't really want to give up things like that and Clorox wipes for easy cleaning of like bathrooms, but I do want my all-purpose spray to be a little bit more natural, just because we use it for countertops, places we eat, and I'd love something that's just a little bit healthier. So you guys should let me know if you guys know of a good homemade DIY all-purpose spray recipe, or if you just know of a good cleaner that exists. I've seen some people use the Thieves cleaner, and I thought about giving that a try. So if you guys have used that before, please let me know what you think of it. Now we're moving on to my living room. Now that the kitchen is officially cleaned again, I showed you a little overview of what it was looking like, and we're going to head straight into my living room. And I did mop the night before, but I did not vacuum this area rug or the dog bed or kind of clean up the living room. I was just too tired, so we're going to quickly take care of that, and then we're going to make our way up the stairs and upstairs to the playroom area. Before we head upstairs, I did want to quickly take care of this mudroom area. I forgot to do this when they came back from school, and so the weekend's almost over, but at least I got to it. So now I'm going to clean up the playroom upstairs real quick, and while I'm cleaning up the playroom, they're in charge of cleaning up their bedrooms. So my youngest is making his bed while the oldest is cleaning up some Legos. All of their Legos and books are in their bedroom, and then their playroom has most of their like toys. And so I'm going to take care of this just because I really wanted to finish vacuuming, and so I'm kind of helping them speed the process along. My kids really like cardboard, if you couldn't tell, and they bring cardboard into their playroom to like make forts and houses for their stuffed animals. And so if you were wondering, that's why there's like a bunch of garbage and junk in their playroom. It's stuff that they actually use to play. But once in a while, I like to come in the playroom and make sure all of that stuff does end up in the recycling or the trash, just so that there's not a buildup. Now that it's all clean, I'm going to vacuum this room, and then we're going to slowly move through our upper floor and make sure that the rest of the upper floor is vacuumed. I just realized that I forgot to take down the Halloween decor in their playroom again. Every time I walk into this room, I think, oh, I need to pack that away. And then I get distracted and do something. And then I always forget to take it down. So I will have to take that down. If I don't, you guys should remind me to do it in the comment section. The stuff on the railing is stuff that needs to go downstairs or find its home, and so that's why it's on there. It's kind of like if there's anything in the lower floor that needs to be carried upstairs and be put away, I put it on the lower stairs. And then if it's something upstairs that needs to go downstairs, I put it on top of the railing. So I'm sure there's better systems. I know a lot of people have stair baskets, and I've thought about that, but for now, this is just what works for our family. Now I'm going to come into the boys' bathroom, and we're just going to wipe all of the toothpaste off of the countertops. My original plan for this whole house clean with me was to do some deep cleaning and to kind of take sponges to the sinks to kind of get rid of all of the like hard water stains that are around the faucets. I really wanted to just dive into these bathrooms, do some dusting. Like I said, just quite a bit of deep cleaning before the holidays come. But with how long it took me to clean up the kitchen and how much extra work there was after that project, I am just kind of doing a quick clean everywhere for my weekly chores. That just means that I'll have plenty of content for you in the next coming weeks. I'll be doing plenty of deep cleaning, and I'll take you guys along with me. For now, you're just seeing me kind of what I do when I'm in a rush. Whenever I'm in the rush, I just grab Clorox wipes, I wipe everything down as fast as I can, and I vacuum, mop, and call it good. And so since this video is already long, I did save mopping for a little later in the day, and I'm going to actually have the rest of my family help out with that. But at least everything is kind of sanitized and wiped down so that I can kind of check those weekly chores off my list. We've made it full circle. If you stuck around till this point, you guys are troopers, and thank you so much for supporting my channel. It means the world to me. I hope you've been enjoying this cleaning motivation. We made it back to the master bathroom where I got interrupted when I was vacuuming the floors, and so now we're coming in here and we're wiping down all of the countertops. We're wiping down the faucets. We might not be doing as much deep cleaning as I was originally planning on doing for the week, but we will definitely get to that, and it just feels good to knock these things off my plate. My countertops get so dusty, probably because whenever I brush my hair, my hair gets everywhere in the bathroom and it's all over the floor. Whenever I vacuum this room, I always have hair that tangles up on the brush, and it's always on the countertops. I'm sure you guys can also relate to that, but I was just kind of showing you a close-up of how dusty the countertops were, because sometimes it just looks like I'm cleaning nothing on film. I ran out of Clorox wipes, so now I'm switching over to Lysol. I just had to get a new container. It seems like in this video, everything was like empty on me. Like every single container, like hand soaps, dish soap, all-purpose spray, Clorox bottles, everything was running out on me on this video. just finished filling up the hand soap, and now we're going to wipe down this mirror with some Windex, and then when we're done, we're going to replace the hand towels so that it's all fresh and clean in here. This is the last little area we're going to clean in today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this whole house clean with me video. I think the only areas that we did not end up cleaning on camera were the office, and that's just because they're storing all of our Christmas decor right now, and so it's kind of a bit of a mess. And I am planning on cleaning that out once I decorate for Christmas. And then I didn't really do the entryway, but that's not really a room. It's just kind of part of our living room and hallway areas. So we did do a whole house clean with me for the most part, and I really hope that this gave you the motivation you needed to get ready for the holiday season. And I hope you come back on Saturday to join me as I decorate for Christmas. Thank you so much for being here, and you'll never know how much I appreciate each and every one of you.